we're back for the fourth and final round of this daily event. This was against Blue-Red Twin, and I ended up winning this 2-1. And we'll just take a look at this match. And I just love pressing this forward button here. So this is the hand that I'm keeping. It's 3 fetch lands, a Cryptic Command, a Snapcaster Mage, and 2 Tarmogoyfs. The intention here was literally, you kind of can't go wrong with Tarmogoyfs. Honestly, I really wanted, a cantrip spell instead here, instead of like one of the 2 Tarmogoyfs or instead of the Cryptic Command. But I kept this. After much clicking and deliberation, my opponent keeps a 7. He's on the play. Or I'm on the play. I play Scalding Tarn and say go. He goes ahead and plays Scalding Tarn of his own, passes turn. I'm going to crack mine at end of turn. I grab Steam Vents tapped. I can crack Misty for a green source. And I'm going to go ahead and play a land, which I'm going to crack right away to attempt to resolve a Tarmogoyf. He's going to Spell Snare in response. So at this point, I pretty much have an idea. He's either twin, he's either a twin deck or like a blue-white-red control deck. He's probably, a twin deck running Spell Snare. He is. Play Scalding Tarn number 2, passes. I play Scalding Tarn as well, and I cast my second Tarmogoyf. The idea is, you played your first Spell Snare. Do you have a second? No? Alright. Against Blue-Red Twin, the goal of Tarmo Twin is to stick a Tarmogoyf and protect it and ride that entire creature to victory, because they really cannot deal with a resolved Goyf in game 1. So I crack Steam Vents, untap, and I play Sulfur Falls. This is a good time to probe him, see what he's got. He doesn't have too much action this turn. He's got, a Bolt, a Dispel, 2 Cryptic Commands, a Sulfur Fall, and a Mountain. So he's going to be able to hit his land drops for the next couple turns, whereas I'm not really so likely to do so. I'm going to go ahead and draw my card. It's a Serum Visions. That's good for me. I'm going to first bash in for 4. He currently has really no way to deal with this Tarmogoyf outside of, say, casting Cryptic Command and bouncing it. So my intention for this turn is I'm just going to hold up my own Cryptic in case he decides to do something, reckless like that and decide to say, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to Cryptic and bounce that. So he Serum Visions, plays Sulfur Falls, says go. I'm pretty sure he drew that recently or off this last draw step here. I draw Misty, that's good for me. I hit my land drop. Bash in for another 4. I fetch an island so this way I can Serum Visions, preserve some life, and still hold up Cryptic Command. I see Bolt, Misty. Let's see how I end up scrying here. So Misty on top, Bolt on top. That makes sense. I can Bolt, Snapcast Bolt, and bring him down to 3. I do have a Pestermite as well. So end of his turn, I end up doing nothing, and the reason why is because I don't want to get blown out by Cryptic Command, counter Pestermite, return Tarmogoyf to your hand. I want to be able to keep that Tarmogoyf on board to continue dealing damage. And I go ahead and do so, bash in, bring him down to 5. And at this point, it's literally, when are you going to blink and give me the opportunity to finish you off? So keep in mind, he has Cryptic, Cryptic, and Dispel in hand. Those are the 3 cards that I know of that are going to be still important. So end of turn, he's going to cast Cryptic Command, return Tarmogoyf to my hand, draw a card. That leaves him with 1 Cryptic and 1 Dispel in hand. I plan on Lightning Bolting him first, to see if he's going to try to dispel that. Reason why is because I want to see if I can cryptic and counter his cryptic command instead. So I do deliberate about this for a little while. I end up going ahead and bolting him. He takes it. So at this point, I'm just going to let that cryptic command resolve, because if I cryptic command this, it's going to end up in the same situation. He's going to dispel. Tarmogoyf is going to go back in my hand. He's going to have his other cryptic up. So next turn, when I try to snapcast bolt, he's going to be ready for that. So this resolves. I debate playing the Pestermite for a bit. I decide that I'm not going to do so because I remember he still has Bolt in hand. He can still use that. He plays a land, and he passes turn. At end of turn, I'm going to try to bait him with a Pestermite to see if he will respond. So I Pestermite, tap his island. He responds by bolting Pestermite. Cool. I tapped the island because I wanted to constrain his mana a little bit more, so this way his choices are literally cryptic or dispel instead of cryptic and dispel. So that's why I didn't target one of his blue-red sources. I untap, I draw Misty, play Misty Rainforest, I cast Tarmogoyf, see if he's going to take the bait. He doesn't. He lets it resolve, and that's fine. I pass turn. He does nothing. He's going to wait until my combat step, so this way he can, get a little bit more time out of this, which is good for him. I'm going to untap. I'm going to draw Gitaxian Probe, and I'm just going to go ahead and probe him right now. Go down 10. This is the hand that I see. 2 Splinter Twins, a Kiki Jiki, the same Bolt, Cryptic, and Dispel. So, the way this is going to go is he's going to Cryptic Command, targeting, my Tarmogoyf during combat to return it to my hand or to tap it down, probably to bounce it back. I am probably going to counter that. And when I do, he's going to Dispel, and, we're going to be at a point where I have just 1 mana available, and he's going to untap, and if he draws, like, say, a Deceiver Exarch or something, he's just going to go ahead and kill me. Actually, he can't. I draw a second Lightning Bolt, and at this point, this game is honestly completely in my reach. So I declare combat, bash in with Tarmogoyf. He decides that he's going to go ahead and Cryptic Command, return Tarmogoyf to my hand, draw a card. I'm going to bait out his Dispel right now by playing my own Cryptic Command, holding up Lightning Bolt. And he's going to Dispel, I'm going to Bolt, and I'm going to kill him. My sideboarding plan for Blue-Red Twin usually involves bringing in, my counter magic. I bring in a number of Ancient Grudges and Nature's Claim to take out his combo pieces, as well as, if he plays Vidalcan Shackles, Engineered Explosives, stuff like that. Threads is useless here. Angers are useless. I do bring in Combust. For this matchup, I did not bring in Molten Rain for Game 2. Okay, so for Game 2, this is the hand that I see start. It is completely useless. I can't win with it, but honestly, some people would rather lose than mulligan, right? I'm going to go down 6. 6 is a Probe and Electrolyze, a Snapcaster, Forest, Misty, Scalding Tarn. This, at the very least, gives me potentially Probe, Snapcast, Probe. I decided to keep it. It's not the best hand in the world, but I don't know if going to 5 would have been a better idea. So he plays the Steam Vents tapped and passes turn. We draw Tectonic Edge. I start off. Scalding Tarn, Probe. I see a hand of Spell Snare, Twisted Image, Vidalcan Shackles, and 3 lands. So looks like he's kept a bit of a slow start as well. His Shackles are going to be pretty annoying later on in the game, and I will have to keep mind of that. So I draw Steam Vents, say go. He plays Sulfur Falls and passes. I'm going to fetch it end of turn. Grab a tap Steam Vents here. I can still grab, a Breeding Pool if I need to, or an island. I'm going to play the Sulfur Falls here. And I'm going to attempt to Snapcast Probe. He's probably going to go ahead and Spell Snare this. He does. I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that I draw a Tarmogoyf sometime in this game. He plays a Misty and passes, and on my upkeep he cracks that Misty Rainforest and plays a Deceiver Exarch. I draw Pestermite, I play Misty Rainforest and pass the turn. And he plays his Tectonic Edge, and he kind of waits a little bit here during this turn. I wonder if he, if he had a Splinter Twin in hand this early on in the game and was deciding whether or not he wanted to use it so soon, in case he hit like one of my negates or so. But he does decide not to, do anything. He just bashes in, and I fetch end of turn, grab Breeding Pool, untap, and on my upkeep he plays a second Deceiver Exarch. Not very fun. Taps down Breeding Pool. I draw a Dispel. Doesn't really do much right now, so I'll play a Forest and pass. He bashes in for 2. This is where his Deceiver Exarch start chipping away at my life total, and I don't really need to find an answer ASAP, but it really would be nice to find an answer pretty soon. He plays Vidalcan Shackles. I really have nothing to, do about that. So I pass turn. I end of turn play Pestermite. I tap the Shackles. The reason why I'm not tapping the Steam Vents, and it's kind of a stupid reason, I do so because if he has the Bolt, he's going to use the Bolt. And I don't have the combo. Honestly, I should have just tapped the fucking Steam Vents, because if he has the Bolt, he has the Bolt, and if not, I can untap and draw into Splinter Twin. But yeah, bad idea for me. I draw a second Pestermite, and I bash. I play Tectonic Edge and I blow up his Steam Vents sometime. Upkeep. In response, he floats blue. He twisted images his Deceiver Exarch. And when he does so, he does leave the Exarch vulnerable with, 1 toughness. So I decide right then and there to Electrolyze 1 and 1. Which does leave me kind of stone dead to a Red Source and Splinter Twin. But he does only have 2 cards in hand. But he will see 2 more. So Electrolyze resolves, 1 Deceiver Exarch, 1 to him. I draw a card. Twisted Image resolves. Deceiver Exarch becomes a 1/4. It dies. And he draws for turn, plays a Scalding Tarn. He only fetches an island. So he doesn't have Twin right now, but he casts Blood Moon, which completely destroys me in this game. I, for the rest of the game, end up drawing blanks. It really doesn't matter that I'm really beating down with this Pestermite because he's just going to take control of it with Vidalcan Shackles. I'm playing to a couple of outs. This is really funny. I really can't cast this Splinter Twin into Vidalcan Shackles because he's literally just going to gain control of Pestermite in response and just combo kill me with my own creature. My out is pretty much Nature's Claim at this point. I would point Nature's Claim at either Blood Moon or Vidalcan Shackles. Either Shackles to free up my Pestermite or Blood Moon to free up my mana. I feel like I would have gotten rid of Vidalcan Shackles and then hoped to untap and land Splinter Twin, but this never happened in the game. Instead, he beats me down with these creatures for an unforeseeable amount of time. I draw a second Splinter Twin, does nothing, pass turn. He goes ahead and draws a card and just bashes in for another 3. Draw another card. It is another blank. It's a negate. I can't cast it under Blood Moon. And he just keeps doing this. So this last turn here, I'm playing to one thing, Nature's Claim. I don't draw Nature's Claim, and that's pretty much game. So after that game, I ended up taking some stuff out and boarding in 3 Molten Rains to see how they would fare. I believe my cuts were... They were probably 1 Probe. Well, the Exarchs were probably gone by then. 1 Splinter Twin, and I believe the Electrolyze went out afterwards. I didn't see a single Vendilion click on his end. So game 3. This is the hand that I keep. It's Probe, Snapcast, Flame Slash, 4 lands. I don't pay 2 life. I don't probe early. Don't need to. He plays Misty, passes. Cool. I probe right now because I want to just draw some cards. I probe, and I see this hand. It is Cryptic, Splinter Twin, Combust, Deceiver Exarch, 4 lands. He essentially has the combo already in hand. So it's a great hand for him if he can manage it properly. I draw, I play a land, I fetch an island, I Snapcast Probe again. Molten Rain is beautiful. I'm so excited to draw this card. He fetches a land, he plays another land, and he passes turn. This turn I play Scalding Tarn, fetch a mountain, and blow up his land after combat. I'm not really afraid of anything he could have right now because this card, the only card he could have drawn into that would stop this, it would be like Remand and Negate. I'm really willing to take my chances right now that he doesn't have him, and if he does, he does. So I fetch. It's a great opportunity for me to keep him off his mana to prevent his combo from happening soon. So I get that. He floats blue in response. Twisted Images the Snapcaster Mage just to draw a card off of it. And I pass turn. He fetches, goes to 14. Plays a second land. Serum Visions, passes turn. I draw Sulphur Falls. Bash in. And this was a pretty greedy play. The only real out he could have had here was Dispel, but I cast Cryptic Command, choosing Return Steam Vents to your hand, draw a card. Initially, I was thinking of playing Cryptic to return Snapcaster, draw a card, so this way I could Molten Rain again next turn. But Cryptic on Steam Vents would cause him to spend mana or spend another land drop next turn, as well as potential life if he decided he wanted to hold up, say, Combust or something. So at the during my post-combat main phase, I decide to Cryptic Command, bounce Steam Vents, draw a card. I draw Dispel. He plays Steam Vents untapped, so he can bolt my Snapcaster Mage main phase. I untap, draw Remand, great, play Misty, pass turn. He plays a land, passes, and I could Snapcaster Molten Rain right now, but this point in the game, he has 3 lands. I would really hate for him to be able to counter it with like a Remand or something. I know his hand is still Splinter Twin, Deceiver Exarch, Combust, so I know at least 3 of the 4 cards in his hand. Play the Breeding Pool tapped. In retrospect, if I didn't do so, I could have fetched Snapcast Molten Rain on Steam Vents with Dispel backup for any counter magic, but I ended up doing this, so instead he ends up playing Deceiver Exarch end of turn, which meets my Remand. Draws the Tarmogoyf, which is good. He goes ahead and plays land, passes for the turn. I fetch because I still have enough up for Negate. I draw a second Negate, so I'm going to go and play Snapcaster, and this turn I'm going to Molten Rain. He's going to fetch, and he's going to attempt to Cryptic Command, counter draw. I'm going to Dispel at this point. He's at 7. I have a Snapcaster Mage. He has 3 islands in play. It's a pretty good situation for me right now. He plays a mountain. He ends up casting Deceiver Exarch during my upkeep to tap down Snapcaster Mage because he doesn't want it to attack. I would have probably waited for a combat to do that. I guess he didn't want me to draw, another piece of counter magic for this, and he wanted to try to set up a kill next turn. Unfortunately, I've been sandbagging this Flame Slash since my opening hand, so I simply Flame Slash the Deceiver Exarch, play Steam Vents untapped, play Tarmogoyf, leaving up double Negate, passing the turn. This is a critical turn for him. He needs to really get some action. He's going to cast Snapcaster. I'm going to let it resolve. Obviously, I can't do anything about that. He casts Serum Visions from his graveyard to try to dig deeper. That's perfectly fine. The only things that I worry about right now are, Batterskull, and Splinter Twin. So at this point, I really don't care anything else that he plays. He can play whatever he wants. He's representing holding up a Dispel a Combust to get rid of my Snapcaster Mage and chump block my Tarmogoyf, which is exactly what he's going to do here. I'm going to bash in with both of these. He's going to block Tarmogoyf with Snapcaster, and he's going to combust my Snapcaster. I've got a Snapcaster in play, or I've got a Tarmogoyf in play. He's got no permanents on board. He's going to take his turn. He's going to draw, play a land, which is fine. He plays a Relic, and I negate this Relic, and the reason why I'm negating the Relic is because I don't want to be set back any number of turns from being able to kill him. So that happens. And then he plays a Batterskull. And, you know, I really should have just negated the Batterskull because I would have been able to keep Nature's Claim up just in case. But I decide to Nature's Claim the Batterskull in response to the Living Weapon trigger. It gains him 4 life. It lets him survive an extra turn when I really shouldn't have let him do so. Play Tech Edge, blow up his Steam Vents, hit him again. Pass turn, he untaps, he plays Serum Vision, sees nothing, and concedes.